all right, the hip thrust. The key here is to make the motion coming from that lumbopelvic region. You can see how Craig's head is stable and his sternum is stable. He's not moving at these areas versus Craig, if you were to move your whole body with it, see how this motion is coming from a little bit of everywhere? We're not isolating that motion. We want to make sure that Craig's head is stationary and his sternum, that chest bone stays stationary. All that motion will be coming from that lumbopelvic area, and he'll really get that burn right in that butt. For this exercise, begin on your back with your knees bent. What you want to focus on from this position is driving in with the heels to bridge the hips up towards the ceiling. So you can see how I'm driving in with the heels. I'm not leaning on the toes. This is going to get the muscles I don't want. So I want to drive more with the back, and you should feel the pull in the glutes and the hamstrings. Squeeze, hold, and then slowly come back down. You want to avoid arching the back a lot. Also, while you do this, like this, you want to focus on keeping the core engaged a little bit, but really drive up with the glute muscles here. Squeeze, and then come back.
So with these hamstring bridges, we're going to be keeping our toes up off of the ground. And instead of the traditional bridge where we have our knees in a little bit more flexion, we're going to have our knees straight. I want you to have your knees as straight as you can, still having your knees bent, but know that the straighter your knees are, the more you're going to feel it in your hamstrings, and the more difficult it will be. So if you have your knees in this position and you go to bridge up, and you're really feeling it in your low back and not behind your thighs, bend your knees just a little bit. Find just the right challenge where you still feel like you're getting a good hamstring workout. Again, you can have your arms here. The wider you have your arms, the more support you'll get for your upper body, versus the more narrow, the less support. And keep this core tight, so before you go to do the bridge, sort of do a little bit of tucking your pelvis, that posterior pelvic tilt. Keep your abs tight, and then lift your butt up off the floor, hold for a second, and repeat. So with this exercise, you can use a bench, you can use a chair. It's a matter of using a stable surface that you can get your feet elevated and supported on. From here, what you want to do is you want to start with getting your low back flat against the ground. And now you're going to push through your feet, through your heels, to lift your butt up into the air, and then back down. Make sure that each time you come back down, you're still starting with your low back flat. You're not starting with your low back arched. And then from here, if you want to make it easy, have your hands supported on the ground. If you want to make it harder, don't support your hands. Push through your legs, get your hips up into the air, and then back down.